Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, Alba, so I'm going to guide Robert into that altered state of hypnosis now. So I'm going to mute. Those who wish to come forward may do so now.
Salutations, Alba.
Hello. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
We are Raziel. Our dominion is that of past lives and knowledge.
Wonderful, thank you. So I know that this is no coincidence that we're here speaking again 1 year later. And
Indeed.
the last time that you spoke, many people were very excited to hear that we could actually communicate with the angelic realm. So I'd like to ask a little bit about the angelics at this time and know a little bit more about who the angels are, what their role is, and how they're assisting us on the earth plane.
Very well. As the question concerns the angelical realm itself, my angelical equal, Azrael, will answer the question. That's the last one.
Thank you.
Salutations.
May we speak to Archangel Azrael, please?
Greetings to you.
Greetings.
Very well. Do you wish for us to begin the discussion, or do you have particular questions which you would ask of us?
Well, many people are interested in angels, their role, what they do, and why they even exist.
Very well. For this, we must say that it is the role of the higher self, as you know, Alba, to heal the body, and it is the fullness of the soul. It represents the fullness of the soul when it is connected with the part of the soul that resides here on earth. The higher self also deals with the resolution of karmic ties, and this is according to the universe of this planet Earth. That is the role of the higher self. Now, having briefly discussed, as you all know, the role of the higher self, now we can begin to look at the role of the angelics. We are the instructors, we are those who guide souls while they reside on the earth plane in whichever lifetime. And we have different roles as stated by our dominions. So our dominions, as you have heard previously, it is, one can say, our expertise, our role that we fulfill, and each of us have different roles. The guardian angels, more specifically, are those that deal with the individual. So they keep the record of the individual soul in that lifetime. And you may have many different guardian angels through the various lives, but only one in each lifetime. The archangels are the channels of knowledge. So we do not exist for the resolution of karmic ties or the healing of the body. This role must be respected and left with the higher self of the particular soul. But there are many other spaces of knowledge that must be filled during this time of ascension, which is why we have come forward now. And this is our role. We guide human souls in the distribution of knowledge and also how to apply it in their lives. But as with all things, Alba, there is duality in all things. And angelics are no different. We are also the peacekeepers of the earth, which is why we are created for earth. What we mean by the peacekeepers, we mean that indeed, if the earth itself and all those upon her are ready to ascend, or if there is great shifting, we ensure that it is done fittingly and correctly, and that the universal laws are adhered to on the energetic level. So it is the reason that we state this, so that you, Alba, as you very well know, and all others who perceive this and may perceive it, that the realization is brought forward that there is duality in all things.
Thank you. Are these angels, the angelic realm, in other planets also, or just for Earth?
We are created only for Earth, because it is, as you also know, the most challenging planet. And for this reason, because of the severing of the divine connection, we have been created for this role of guidance and knowledge, yes.
So angels haven't come from other planets, have they? Or were they just created for this?
We are satisfied that you asked this, Alba. Indeed, we are not souls at all. We are beings that have been created, yes.
Okay. So can you tell me more about how you are? They always depict angels with wings, with armor,
indeed.
with long flowing hair. How is it that an angel actually looks to a human, if we were to see one?
We will give many examples, but the answer is that we will present ourselves in a way that is most fitting to the particular individual, in a way that they understand, be it in dreams or in form of light, or perhaps even in the form of aura, if the particular soul is inclined to perceive aura and energy. We may also make use of color as well. So we may place color in our auras so that souls that are inclined in this manner may also perceive us.
How do you perceive each other?
We are merely energy of differing vibrations according to our dominions. But we do state that this difference in vibration is not in terms of, as humans often consider it, three-dimensionally, higher and lower. We are simply different. So we are not, yes, but we are still equal.
Very good.
Yes.
So being that the angels are only for Earth, before a soul incarnates into a body on Earth, is there some sort of connection with the angelic realm before they even come here.
Yes, indeed. That is why at times one finds that when a physical body is created, that it is expelled without a soul. And this is when the soul decides, very well, the earth realm is too challenging, I wish to return. And during that space where the soul still has a space to make a decision, the connection is indeed kept. Yes.
So, are there any angels that connect more with certain people?
Yes, particularly according to your mission or that which you have come to learn in the particular lifetime, be it this lifetime or previous lifetimes. Yes.
Okay. So many people, for example, say that they are protected by Archangel Michael. What is Archangel Michael's role? Because he seems to have a prominent one with the angels. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. So Michael is the angelic who deals with restitution, which means the correcting of energetic spaces and the balancing of Earth in its various incarnations and as it proceeds, and also with the souls. So this protection that they feel is Michael rebalancing the soul. And
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is then, this manifests as protection, but it is the balancing of the soul. This must not be confused with the role of the higher self. It is the role of the higher self to discover and to balance the body, but the angelics may assist with this by providing signs and many different manner of signs, and be it in dreams and other signs that we may present.
Well, that was one of the main questions that people asked is, how do you know when the angelics are around you?
Yes. And once more, we are satisfied, Alba, that you asked this, because it is of significance. And one finds very often that when one is in nature, particularly, why in nature? Because then one becomes still, and one can more easily, more simply listen to the vibrations and that which those around you wish to inform you of. This does not mean that when you are not in nature, the feeling disappears. No, we are simply stating that it is simpler when it is in nature. So particularly when one begins to connect with angelics, one finds that it is clearer in the beginning in nature. And then as the soul grows, the connection grows with them. And in other spaces, it also becomes clearer. So let us look at examples of signs. Snowflakes. If snowflakes fall, particularly as winter now approaches, when you find, although yes, we agree that money as a substance is a limitation, we very often use that as a sign to say we are here. So if you pick up money of any particular denomination, it is simply us saying we are here. if you have plant life in your space, be it your home, where you work, whatever the case may be, plants can tell you very much about not only your own vibration, but when we are near. And this is not only when they are in bloom, all throughout, shall we call it, the year. So through all the seasons that humans know, we present ourselves in this way. But perhaps the most well-known way in which we present ourselves are through dreams, because that is when the conscious mind is still. So yes, you will find that particularly when souls begin, we will begin in the dream state, and from there we will progress.
Very good. So there is some controversy about numbers. I know that this is a numerical matrix. What happens when people see numerical numbers? For example, ones or twos or threes all coming up. You'll look at your clock on the wall and it says 333. You go into your car, it says 444. You see something that says 1111. What is the significance of this? Does it have anything to do with the angelics?
Indeed, we do agree that indeed it does have much to do with the angelical realm, because numbers are the physical, one of the many ways of physical expression of vibration. So if we look at 5 and 5, if you look at the way the number is constructed, the number 5, and you look at how a scale is constructed, you will find many similarities. So it means that your reality is in balance. And another example, although we do, before we continue, angelics also have, through the eons, been connected with numerics, which is not only acceptable, it is the way it is intended, because our vibration is a vibration like any other, and so we also have a numerical counterpart. So, then to continue, 1 means alignment. You're aligned with your mission or with your path. So from within, as it is within, so it is without, outside the body. Then 3, I'm going to take 3 as an example. 3 means that you are in a space of transition. So you are changing. If you construct the number 3 as it is ordinarily constructed, it seems as if you were to put a stone on top of the 3, it would roll down to the end. And this means, yes, you are not in a space of stability, you are changing. So things are moving about you. And one should not display fear and simply manifest. This is the space of manifestation, the space of movement.
So for example, number 3, you can almost say like, just let it roll.
Precisely.
Very good. What about the number 2?
So 2 means that you are So 3, we're saying that things are moving. 1, we said the alignment has been achieved between yourself and your mission, or that which you wish to manifest. It can be applied to manifestation just as easily. So 2 is in between. And we state very clearly, as has been proven many times over, there are no coincidences. So 2 must be in between these spaces. So what is the space in between these 2? And that is that you visualize, you see where you wish to go. And then things begin to move. So then we are with 3. Things begin to move.
And of course, I'm going to ask about 4 and 5. Well,
Yes.
5 we have balance, but 4, I
Yeah.
see 4 a lot.
Yes. So 4 is where one must take action, because that is just before the scales balance. So that which you have created is brought into physical. But as we know, with manifestation, action is required. So first you must align. So we begin with 1 again. So first you must align so that you can manifest. Because if you're not aligned with yourself, manifestation is exceedingly challenging. 2 means I wish to manifest something, whatever it may be, and I must visualize, or I must see, I must meditate on it. 3, you must give space to the universe to rearrange herself so that she can present whatever you manifest in the most fitting way. 4, so this is just after 3, so 3, the universe replies to you and says, very well, now you must do this, through whichever sign, be it a rainbow or the wind, that as you walk in nature, or a butterfly on the window, whatever the sign may be, there are incalculable examples. And 4 is then action. So now the universe has replied, now we must take action. And once you have completed the action, 4, we have 5, which is balance.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, you had said that you do answer with butterflies and the wind. Is there a way that we can request the angelics to give us a particular sign just to know? For example, if I find a coin facing down, that would be a sign for me. Can you actually ask for that?
Yes, if you wish to speak with us, this can be done. However, when manifesting, the universe decides, and we may not inform the universe in which way she must present her answers. That would be interference. But if you wish to speak with us, or you wish to know that we are here, we are present, yes, that may be done.
Beautiful. So now that you speak about the universe, and you speak as a she, I almost felt like a mother tone to that. Can you explain that?
The answer lies in the very language that souls in human form use. Mother Earth. It has been so for eons, and this is no coincidence. There are no coincidences. It is because she is the carer. She cares, and she has patience, and all the attributes that are very often attributed with souls that are in female form. But we must not be of the mindset that the universe is only female. That would be very unbalancing. So the universe does have male energy as well, but it is chiefly female because it is fitting.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. As we speak about the universe and our source of everything, can you describe God, Creator, from your point of view?
We are most satisfied, Alba. You shall have your answer presently. The one source is quite simply a collector of experiences. And it is for this singular purpose that splits were made. Being souls, beings were created, such as ourselves, and so forth. Because source has forever had a desire to learn in infinite ways. And this is the only purpose for which Source itself allowed itself to be created, for learning and for experience.
So you've given me another puzzle piece. Who created that entity that we know as God or Source?
It is recorded that Source, which is energy, has always existed. There are no records that state that Source was ever created from something else.
Mm-hmm.
But Source does embody energy continually changing and changing forms and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
More than this, we cannot say.
Very good. Thank you for that. So we know that what we consider God or our source was created as to expand with our experiences.
Correct.
And there are no limits, good, bad, indifferent. It's all good for God.
Precisely, yes.
Okay.
Why? Because of balance.
Because of balance. Because people ask, why would a God allow evil things to happen?
So, now we come to the next very fitting piece, and that is the difference between good and evil and light and darkness. We'll take a very simple three-dimensional example. If you have a child, we will not give these entities names. We'll simply say that if one has a child, a very small child, and it's a soul, so the soul may not be young, but the physical body is young, and it is still learning to control the physical body and so forth, and what must be done. Then the mother, the soul who has agreed to be the mother in that lifetime, would say, you cannot live, or you should not live in a room that is in disarray. Why? Because of the energy. And then the child, at times, might say, but do I have to do it now? Can't I do it later? And then the mother says, no, you have to do it now. But why? Because you cannot live, it is not fitting for you to live in a space that is in disarray. What is the mother doing? The mother is introducing darkness from the child's perspective, because the child wants to go and play or whatever it wishes to do. But why is this darkness being introduced? So that it can learn. And what is the lesson? It is not fitting for you to live in a space of disarray. But one never hears a child saying, "Daddy, Mommy told me to go and clean my room, she is evil." No, no. And yet the mother does introduce darkness from the child's perspective so that the child may learn. So good and evil are concepts that are illusions, and all that exists is light and darkness. Darkness can be seen as the final element of balance. So it is the space of learning. And good and evil are emotionally driven illusions that have been created in this space of limitation, which one understands. But there is only light and darkness, as we have explained.
Thank you for that explanation. But those who would listen to this would say, there is evil. There are those that kill others. There are those that put people down, just horrible things that as a human would have to experience.
Yes.
What do you say about that? What are we getting from that?
So, there are two things that we must now consider. We must consider that it may be that the particular soul wished to learn, for the sake of balance, which we have explained now, the other side of a particular situation, whatever the situation may be. And also, what one is describing is not evil as such, but rather karma. And according to karmic law, the karma must be repaid. So, in knowing this, there is another part to this that we must consider, and that is that physical transitioning, or as it is more commonly known among those who are beginning to join us, death itself. Death itself is an illusion. It is merely the transitioning of the soul from the physical to us, so returning to us, on the ethereal planes where the souls dwell. And one does say yes, but it feels very real. So what are we reaching now? We are reaching the space of emotion. So what creates this? Emotion creates this. Nothing else. And it is an inherent limitation of this planet, which is why it is so challenging. So yes, we do understand why the question is asked.
Mm-hmm.
We ask in return, is there another part of the question which you wish to explore, or are you satisfied indeed with our answer?
Yes, I'd like to continue on that. There are many who listen to this that feel that they are the ones who are victimized by the so-called evil ones. Is there a karmic debt that they're paying with those that are inflicting these challenges on them, whether it be domestic or government, anything like that? And I'm going to even go deeper. Those souls that are doing this, have they agreed to work with this soul in this karmic balance?
That is correct. But there is another side to this which we will now discuss, and that is that one must realize that one must take responsibility. So one must acknowledge that everything in one's reality, be it considered by the individual soul fitting or unfitting, is of that soul's making, whether it be before coming in or through the choices that were made due to the connection being severed and you are here in a space of limitation. Or it may be, as you suggest, that it is for karmic purposes. And this is where the quantum healing hypnosis plays a role, because now each individual can go and connect with their higher self and find out what did I agree to? What is my role? Or what must I do to correct this situation in which I find myself, whatever it may be.
And make changes from that aspect.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
We
Now,
also state, before we continue,
yes,
that it may very well be that for a particular soul, the effect on the body as well as the reality is such that it was of a karmic nature, and therefore it cannot be entirely corrected because that is what the soul agreed.
yes.
But in gathering this understanding, the matter is bettered.
Okay, very good.
So,
So for example, if someone is going blind in this lifetime or has a severe illness that they cannot work on, or maybe even they've had an accident where they've severed their spinal cord and they cannot walk, you're saying that it could have been a choice for them to experience this.
correct.
Okay.
Furthermore, you will very often find that souls who make these choices before coming in, they have souls that agree to assist them. And very often the souls who assist these souls who agree to these conditions ask, but what can I do to change the situation, or what is my role? Then these souls who are, just as each soul is brave who enters this experiment, the souls who assist the souls under the karmic event, whatever its physical manifestation may be, and the soul who is under the karmic event are equals. So, meaning that the soul who assists the soul under the karmic event may also connect with the higher self in whichever way they elect, to say very well, have I agreed to assist a particular soul, and what is my role?
Very good. Very good. Thank you for that. So, is there anything that we could do as humans living here in order to get this understanding even more from a soul level, knowing if we really are completing a karmic balancing act without hypnosis, just a knowing?
Very well. Yes, the most vivid sign is if a situation repeats itself in a lifetime. Then it means it is a lesson, as has very often been stated. Secondly, there is, through meditation, one can achieve the same. Because the object is to quiet the conscious mind. So whichever method one elects, it does not matter. If one can connect with the inner self, then one can indeed begin to understand the role of the particular soul, the particular soul can then understand its role.
Very good, thank you. I was recently told through a hypnosis session that within several years, we would be integrating with our higher self.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you tell me about that? What lies before us?
Do you speak of the new world itself, or do you speak of the journey from here to the new world?
Whatever is easier to understand. It could be the journey first, and then we'll get to our destination.
Very well. So we will look at the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It can be described only as a feeling of completeness. A space where nothing is wanted and nothing is needed, because everything is applied, everything is presented. A sense of wholeness, and also a sense of absolute understanding. Even questions that souls have not asked on this earth, the entire knowledge of all the records when each soul returns, and this is so for each life, all this knowledge returns. So if a soul, let us suppose, a soul does not succeed in resolving karmic debt, then before traveling to the new earth, there is an additional step to their journey. They will be taken to the planet which we have spoken of previously, and in full understanding, the karmic ties will be released and be dissolved, which is much different from previous lifetimes and so forth, where the cycle continued. But we state here and now that the cycle is ending. And indeed, in this fashion, if karmic ties remain, they will be dissolved when the life is over and they return to us.
What are the symptoms that one feels on this journey to this ascension?
So one feels, to begin with, in the beginning, one feels unique and very significant sensations within the third eye. That is where the connection begins. And also within from the third eye, all the other centers are then awakened as the soul progresses and grows. One will begin to feel on the seventh energy center, being on the top of the head, one feels a tingling sensation, which is the energy going in and out between the seventh and the eighth chakra, or energy center, which is above the physical body, but it is at the end, the very end of the aura or the energy field that the soul creates, because the body is within the energy field. And then one will very often, once the energy centers are awakened and as they progress, one will begin to see different dimensions, so between different dimensions. And one's eyes will physically feel very strange because they will focus in and out as the body moves. And this connection is established between the different dimensions. And there is no limit to the number of dimensions that one can experience, because it is a singular ability. So if one can move between this dimension and the next, so not physically, but one can see into other dimensions, then one can see into all of them as one elects. Then one will begin to see that indeed the body becomes lighter. And what we mean by this, physically, it may appear that one does not consume enough. This is not true. This is simply the body making itself light and very we cannot find a word that is vibrationally correct, but let us say that, let us rephrase and say that indeed it is readying itself. So you will begin to see that you do not consume as much as you did. You perhaps drink more liquids than you consume food. And these are all signs of the approaching ascension for the particular soul, because each soul must ascend when it is ready.
Any other symptoms that the body feels? Any things in your arms or legs or torso, anything that they would feel?
Yes, you will find that our messages become clearer. So messages from the angelics and other beings, even the higher self, will find that you have sensations within the body, in very particular parts of the body, be it in the side or perhaps in the neck. And this is us, one can say three-dimensionally, if one wanted to describe it three-dimensionally, poking you and to say, we have a message for you. And this is the energy flowing through you. And we are informing you, we are waiting for you to give you a message or to simply speak with you, because we wish also to state that we are beings and we are here to assist.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many, many, many spaces. And these spaces are not particular, where we simply wish to speak with you. We do not perhaps have a particular message, but we simply wish to say, we are here and this is what we wish to inform you. Or just to say hello.
Very good.
Yes.
I had goosebumps, many, many goosebumps before we even had this call today. So I felt every hair on my body just being activated.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we will indeed share this with you, that when you are completed with your questions, if you will permit us, Alba, we have a message for you.
Thank you very much. Yes. So this ascension is the big topic of the day, but there's also something else that has happened in the year since we've met the last time. Was this virus that came out?
Ah, yes.
What was the purpose of this virus?
So there are many purposes, but there are three. So we will, for the sake of simplicity, we will put them into three categories. First, it is because what happens physically, families are brought together for a long space or an extended space. And so one can very easily determine for oneself true vibrations. So this allows souls to make decisions, to say very well, or any other group of group consciousnesses, it just does not have to be confined to families, of course, but we are speaking of group consciousness in the broader spectrum. do I still belong to this group? Or is it time for me to move on? Or perhaps I am over here, perhaps I need to move back, because that is where I truly belong. And this is not, as has often been depicted in previous eons, a decision of you go left, I go right. No, this is not a division. It is a space for the souls to determine for themselves what vibration do I wish to possess and what collective consciousness do I wish to be a part of. And this can be applied to any degree of collective consciousnesses. Then, secondly, it is because diet is the one of the many foundational cornerstones of ascension. It is time for the human consciousness as a collective to begin to realize that the consumption of other sentient beings, unless they have agreed, such as fish and crustaceans and crabs as well, so any manner of shellfish, they have also agreed, it is no longer fitting for such consumption to continue. So why did it physically manifest? This is the swine consciousness that has come forward as a collective to say this must, we are urging the human consciousness to hear us. And so we are speaking of foods such as bacon and any other pork that is consumed, is to say, no, this must come to an end. You will find, Alba, which we know you have, if you have followed closely, that the gathering of wild meat, much change has taken place, that is no longer permitted. And these are the manner of changes which we must bring. But we have not done this. We as Angelics, it is the universe, Gaia herself, the earth, that says to the universe, send a message to the human consciousness to say, you must decide that indeed this must come to an end. Yes, we agree, it is a very physical message. It is on a large scale, but this is in accordance with universal principles, because it is a lesson like all others. And if one does not learn the lesson becomes more challenging. So what has occurred on the physical realm is this, that previously, when the physical shape of swine have been brought onto the earth plane, they were healthy, and karma was accumulated later, particularly if they are used for consumption, when the meat is consumed or the flesh is consumed. Now, the swine consciousness has, as a collective, decided to, when physical manifestations of swine consciousness are brought onto the earth, fear is already present within the physical being. And this is what has occurred. So how do we now correct this? There are 3 steps that must be taken. But before we continue with that, we state very clearly, because one may ask, but why only certain individuals, some individuals, even if you do take care and all that, it still manifests, and other times there are souls that do not take physical care and it still manifests, because it is energy. It is not contagious in the sense of a disease. Disease does not exist. It is energy. So then it is the universe that decides, because it is her role to allow the swine consciousness to bring forward this message. And there are other consciousnesses as well, that if this message is not heard, they may also decide as a collective to bring a message. So we are speaking of cattle and the chicken consciousness as well, which is why, as you very well know, there are souls that say, we have not heard the end of it. And indeed, this is correct. So it is a very overreaching lesson for the human consciousness as a whole. It is a lesson. It is not a punishment. We make this clear. It's simply a lesson. So now let us see what must be done. We also state before we begin that it is not our task to interfere with the minutiae of human affairs, but we are here to guide. So let us see. There are three things that must occur. The consumption of swine flesh in its various forms must be altered, and any flesh that is not consumed should be burned. So fire must be created naturally, and it must be burned. Why do we say this? Because that is a natural way of returning it to the universe, so that the universe and Gaia herself can make of it that which she wishes. Then, the creation of the swine flesh in its various forms must be halted. Now you may say, but the human souls that have nurtured these creatures for that purpose, what are they to do now? There are many, there are infinite possibilities, but we will discuss the two greatest, and that is that one must grow plant life, edible plant life, or one can farm with, as it is known, farm with seafood, so oysters and other crustaceans as well. Very importantly, fish should not be farmed. They must be caught from the sea. So they did agree to be consumed, but they must be left to wander free. However, due to the particular nature of shellfish, as it is known, they welcome the solitude of a farming environment. Mm. Then, thirdly, all the living embodiments, so the souls that have chosen swine forms in this lifetime, must be released to places where they can be or become wild again, so they can be free. So those are the three steps, and they must be performed in this order to have the best possible outcome. That is what we advise, as well as the fact that it may appear to the keepers of the wild spaces, because we understand that they are keepers of wild spaces where animals roam. It may appear for some time that we believe humans call it an ecosystem, correct?
Yes.
May appear to be in imbalance. The keepers of these spaces are not to interfere, because the balance will be restored in time as they are consumed by other animals that have the mission of changing fear into energy that is fitting. So we refer to animals such as animals that are considered, the word is a predator.
Yeah.
Correct? So that is why when a gazelle or any other form runs, that is an exhibition of fear. And that is why the lion goes afterwards, or after it, because its mission is to change fear, that which does not belong on the earth plane, into something that is fitting. So yes, those are the 3 steps. How the collective human consciousness wishes to physically implement these steps, we will not interfere. They may gather and come together and manifest this, but that is the reason why this occurs, and we've also now given the solution. We trust, Alba, that you are satisfied with our answer. Are there any
Yes.
further questions?
So this is all about this virus. To me, it almost seems like we have put a light over fear. We've highlighted it, almost like a global collective fear.
Correct. Yes.
So this is just for us to understand that we need to transform this fear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And for those who are still in fear about getting this virus and dying, just in closure for that, what would you like to say to these that are still in fear?
We wish to say that one understands now, we trust, what the universal reason is and what the universal lesson is for this occurrence. And in this understanding, the fear will dissipate. But we understand, Alba, that you are asking physically what
Yes.
may they do as well.
Yes.
And that is that they can in their own homes begin to say, very well, let us not eat as much swine flesh as perhaps we did. And we do not expect the human consciousness as a collective to immediately and the swine consciousness as well. But we as guides as well, we do not, and we do not, as beings, because we do not have expectations, we do not expect. And the universe does not expect, because the universe cannot have expectations. Because we are not emotional beings, just as the universe is not. But she does understand balance. So that is all that the universe wishes. That if one progresses individually in the family units and so forth, one will begin to see a difference if these steps are followed. And that other consciousnesses are consumed, such as fish and seafood and so on. But even if it is only begun by eating less and less, so that it is gradual, this is acceptable. However, having said that, the swifter this can be achieved, the swifter the result will physically manifest. For that is also a universal law, as you are well aware.
Very good. Thank you for that. I know there are many, many questions that people have. Would it be fitting for us to do this again?
Indeed, we agree.
Very good. So is there a message that you have for all of those who are listening today from the Angelics?
Yes. We send this message that the time of prayer and the time of genuflection, that the notion that we are, or the belief that we are higher beings, this must come to a close. We are your equals, and we find it fitting, and you will discover this as well when you do this, that if you ask of us anything that you wish as an equal, you will find that it is fitting, and the universe that is your body and your reality will respond to that. We are not higher beings. We are your guardians, we are your guides. But the only reason that it is, or that it seems that we are higher beings, is because you have very bravely accepted to become a part of this most challenging experiment that is Earth, and for a time be in a space of limitation. But the soul, and therefore your true self, has no limitations. And so it is by no means the intent of this universe, or we as your guardians and guides of all on Earth, that we be seen as higher beings. And also that indeed it is, as we have explained today, that it is very possible for you to connect with us yourself. And this is the message that we send. Yes, there are souls that have agreed, such as the vessel and others, to come forward and to show you that it is possible, but it is not our intent at all that you return to these individuals, but rather that you allow these individuals, such as the vessel and others, to assist you so that you can connect with us and all other beings that you may elect in time and as the soul grows, that you may do this yourself, because that is truly the foundation of ascension.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And before we part, can you tell everybody what is your expertise so that they know?
So, indeed, as we have been dealing with angelics and thereafter other knowledge from the records, we are Azrael. Our dominion is that of messages, and also we are the bridge between the angelical realm and all other realms.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And you said you had a message for me.
Yes, indeed. So, first, allow us to thank you, Alba, for once again allowing us this privilege of speaking to so many. And indeed, for your assistance, we give you this gift. We give you knowledge of what has occurred during this time that has passed. That indeed what occurred is that the old knowledge those of religion, attempted to, indeed, because they do not understand, they attempted to sway the vessel and his family and those who assist him, that indeed, in such a way that the vessel was, and those who travel with him, they were interfered with. And so, by their own manifestation, being the manifestation of the old world, because of this, they manifested that indeed many others who were in the space of religion have left. And so this creates, although it was not within the mission or the intent that the vessel and the family create such a movement, because of the interference of the old knowledge, they have manifested it. And so there are many that are now looking for a new path. And this is the knowledge that we bring you. And we also say that it is no coincidence that you, as you know, that you wish to come here so that you can make use of this space to those who would be awakened and seek and wish and to seek and find a new path. So very soon you will have the space with which to come here and begin to awaken those who are here. For you do recall that previously we said that the African continent would not be ascending, correct?
Yes, and many are worried about that.
Yes, so let us first clarify before we continue. We are not speaking of physical space, we are speaking of the vibration of the continent, because the collective consciousness has decided that they do not wish to ascend. So, if you are on the African continent and you are already on the path of awakening, then indeed your vibration is not in alignment with the global, or not the global, but rather the continental consciousness, and therefore you will ascend. But those who, as they are permitted, decided, very well, I wish to complete my life and then ascend. So everyone will ascend. It is only a matter of whether they wish to ascend within the lifetime or only after the lifetime is completed. It is that simple. It is not as great a division as it may seem, because there is no division. It is simply a soul choice whether the soul wishes to ascend within this lifetime or after it is completed. But now, with the movement which we have explained within the old knowledge, it has created a path for you and all others that wish to continue with awakening others, which previously did not exist. The possibility did not exist. It was created through the actions of the old knowledge, the collective consciousness. This opportunity has now been created for you and others to come here and to begin to awaken again the souls that are here and wish to be awakened. So, in short, what we are saying is that this decision that the African continent does not wish to ascend, with your assistance, it will begin to retract.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I was supposed to be in South Africa this year,
Yes.
and never made it. Was there a reason for that?
Yes. Because indeed, we did not find the space that was or had been created at that time fitting enough or in alignment with the vibration that we as a collective with the one wished. So in short, the vibration was not ready.
Okay. Will I
Because
be?
now yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank
Because
you.
now the vibration is there is even greater space for you and others to begin the awakening here.
Wonderful. That's great news. I'd love to see South Africa and be able to meet all those lovely people who are on this path. Is there anything else that you would like to say to us today, or do you feel that we are complete for today?
We are indeed completed, and we state again, Alba, that you and all others who are putting in energy and you are lifting the vibration in various ways, we are satisfied with all that is occurring.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And with that, I'd like for Rennie to go ahead and begin to assist Robert Henry to disconnect from that realm.
We are in agreement. Greetings to all.
Greetings.
Thank you, Alba. Thank you, Archangel Azrael. One, wide awake, wide awake. Are you back, Robert? Are you completely out of the state?
Yes, indeed I am.
Hello.
We are still on the return journey, but most of what should be here has returned, but not all of it as yet.
We'll be back a little bit at a time. So that was absolutely lovely.
Yes, and thank you for your questions, Alba. It's just like you can do it. Really, thank you so much. It was very interesting. But you don't know anything about it, Robert.
No, but it appears from the energy that I see around, and also from you, Alba, that I have indeed, shall we say, there is much to speak of.
Yes, there is. And like I said before, there were many, many questions, but I felt that it would just progress the way it needed to, which I think it did.
It did.
It did. It's like a dance. It's when I do, it's like a dance, and I take cues from them, and it's a beautiful experience. So now that we've completed this, I'd like for you to go ahead and tell everybody what your plans are to take this forward to the world.
Oh, well, Alba, I must confess, I do feel that it is a discussion for the ladies. So perhaps if the Crystal Master
he stays in on the safe side.
if Rini will assist me.
Yes.
In explaining this.
Alba, our biggest thing now for us to do is to get to the USA, to get to America and immigrate, because that is where we have to be, to be able to spread this message. And that is the platform that the Angelics also gave us. Yeah. If they say, go there, we go. Yeah. So we need assistance in any way they see fit. Good. So that is why we created a website, and we are doing everything in our power. I promise you, we are putting in energy to get there. And you know, the universe is always just, and she's always fair. And we believe that we will be there very, very soon, doing conferences and just get this message out there, because the people are hungry for what we have.
Yes. Yes.
But thank you very much for what you are doing for us, because what you do for us, you do for the ascension. So we thank you very much for that.
We thank you, Alba.
You're welcome. So how can everyone get a hold of you? Can you tell everybody your website?
Yes, askangelics.com. They will see everything they need to know is on the website. Alba.
Will Robert be providing channeling for others at this time?
Not individually like you do, but we do have a platform where they can put in their questions. They send in their questions, and I will guide Robert into the state, and then the Angelics will come forward and answer their questions, and then we will send the video to them. Yes.
Wonderful. That sounds fantastic. So it's been quite a pleasure today to do this again, this beautiful dance. But that's how it feels.
Yes.
And the energy is beautiful. It feels so good. And I think there was a lot of answers that we received today.
Yes, Alba, and I'm so pleased that you asked about the COVID, because I mean, really, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody can speculate about why and what, but here's the answer.
I never saw that coming. Never
Yeah.
saw that coming.
Oh.
Very interesting. And I've been noticing, myself, I've been eating a lot less.
Yes. Yes.
Almost less than grazing. I mean, it's really crazy. And my whole body feels, different. And
Yes.
I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one feeling this. But it was great to have them at least confirm that that's what's happening.
Exactly. Alba, we are talking about you are what you eat, but it's the truth, because what you eat is going to either heighten your vibration or lower it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you very much. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching here. And we hope to get these two beautiful souls back here again soon so that you can hear more information from the angelics, more wisdom, so that we all can ascend in a beautiful way with the assistance that they're here to give us. So thank you for watching. Until the next time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Alba. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.